Let's talk about a subject that is perhaps one of the most misunderstood in the realm of connection, the idea of making someone obsessed. We hear that word and our minds might drift to Hollywood tropes, grand dramatic gestures, relentless pursuit, a constant proving of one's worth. But I am here to tell you that this image is not only false, it is the very antithesis of creating a genuine, powerful, and lasting attraction. True, healthy obsession is not something you chase. It is not something you demand. It is something you inspire. It is a magnetic force that you generate by becoming a man of such substance that to be in your orbit feels like a privilege. This begins not with her, but in the quiet solitude of your own existence. The first and most critical step is the complete abdication of the need for her validation. A man who chases is a man who lacks. He lacks purpose. He lacks fulfillment. He looks externally for something to complete him. And a woman, on a fundamental, almost primal level, can sense this desperation. It is an energy that repels. So you must build a life that is so rich, so full, so aligned with your own mission that a woman is not the center of your universe, but a beautiful complement to it. What are you passionate about? What is the work that you lose yourself in? What is the vision for your life that gets you out of bed in the morning? Cultivate that. Become obsessed with your own growth, your own health, your own financial freedom, your own intellectual expansion. When you are a man on a mission, you carry a certain energy. You are not idle. You are not waiting. You are moving, and that momentum is incredibly attractive. It makes people wonder what you are building. It makes her want to be a part of that journey. From this place of self-contained wholeness, you can then offer the greatest gift one human can give another in the modern world, your complete and total presence. We live in an age of perpetual distraction. Phones ping, notifications buzz, minds are everywhere but here. In this chaos, the man who can sit across a table, look into a woman's eyes, and make her feel like she is the only person in the room, that man is a rarity. That man is remembered. This is not about performing a trick. It is about genuine curiosity. Listen to understand her, not just to wait for your turn to speak. Hear the nuances in her stories, the dreams tucked between her words, the fears she hints at. When you make a woman feel truly heard, you are not just listening to her words, you are acknowledging her soul. This creates a profound emotional connection that no amount of lavish spending or empty flattery can ever hope to buy. She will associate you with a feeling of depth and understanding, and she will crave more of that feeling. And as you listen, you must also have the courage to be seen. This brings us to the cornerstone of deep connection, authentic vulnerability. So often, men are taught to be rocks, impenetrable fortresses of stoicism. But a fortress has no life inside. It is cold and hard. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the ultimate demonstration of strength. It is the confidence to say, I don't know, or I was wrong, or this matters to me. It is sharing an aspiration that feels audacious. It is talking about a book that moved you. It is the ability to express a thoughtful emotion without collapsing into neediness. Neediness says, I need you to fix me. Vulnerability says, this is my experience, and I trust you enough to share it with you. When you open that door appropriately, you give her permission to do the same. You build a sanctuary of trust between you, a world where masks can be taken off. This level of emotional intimacy is addictive. It forges a bond that is incredibly difficult to replicate. This integrity must then be mirrored in your actions. You must become a man of your word. Your yes must mean yes, and your no must mean no. This consistency builds a foundation of immense safety and reliability. She knows what to expect from you because you are predictable in your character. This is not about being boring. It is about being trustworthy. Within that safety, you can then lead. Leadership in connection is not about being a dictator. It is about having a vision for the shared experience. It is the ability to decisively choose a restaurant on a Tuesday night, to steer a difficult conversation toward a resolution, to plan a surprising weekend trip. It is taking responsibility for the energy and the direction of the relationship. This decisive action is a form of quiet confidence that communicates, "I've got this. You can relax." It alleviates the mental load for her and allows her to step into her feminine energy, to be led, to be cared for, not in an infantilizing way, but in a way that is deeply nurturing and attractive. Furthermore, you must engage not just her heart, but her mind. A beautiful woman is accustomed to compliments on her appearance. What she is starved for is a man who challenges her intellect, who stimulates her thoughts, who sees the powerhouse within. Engage her in debates about philosophy, art, or current events. Ask her opinion on meaningful topics and truly consider her perspective. Play devil's advocate, not to be argumentative, but to create a playful, intellectual spark. Be curious, ask why and how. Show her that you are interested in the intricate map of her mind, not just the geography of her body. This kind of mental stimulation is thrilling. It makes every conversation with you an event, an exploration. She will leave interactions with you feeling energized, intellectually nourished, and deeply valued for her entire being. Finally, and this is paramount, all of this must be held within a container of unwavering self-respect and clear boundaries. A man who people want to be obsessed with is a man who values himself. He does not tolerate disrespect. He does not abandon his mission for a moment of attention. He knows his worth is not up for negotiation. This is not about being arrogant or closed off. It is about having a clear understanding of what you will and will not accept in your life. When you hold these boundaries with calm firmness, you communicate that your time, your energy, and your presence are valuable. They are not given away freely to anyone who asks. They must be earned. This instantly frames every interaction you have. It means that when you choose to give your attention to her, it feels like a reward. It feels special. She will not feel smothered. She will feel privileged. She will not feel chased. She will feel chosen. And that is the ultimate shift. You are no longer the hunter. You are the prize. And the natural human response to being in the presence of a prize is to want to earn it, to win it, to cherish it. This is the anatomy of a healthy obsession. It is not a manipulation. It is a transformation. It is the hard, daily work of building a life of character, purpose, and depth. It is about becoming a man who generates his own light. And when you become that man, you will find you don't need to make anyone obsessed with you. You will simply notice that they are drawn to your warmth, captivated by your depth, inspired by your journey. And they will choose of their own free will to stay. The entire architecture of genuine magnetic attraction is built upon a single, non-negotiable foundation, your mastery of self. This is the absolute bedrock. The common and ultimately futile mistake so many make is to look outward for the source of their validation. They believe that the attention, the affection, the obsession of another person is a prize to be won through external actions, through relentless pursuit, grand gestures, or constant approval seeking. This is a fundamental error. That path does not lead to obsession. It leads to exhaustion, neediness, and ultimately resentment. True obsession is not something you can actively extract from another person. It is not a resource they hold that you must mine for. Rather, it is a natural byproduct, an involuntary response elicited when someone encounters a person of immense substance and self-contained purpose. Think of it not as chasing a butterfly, but as cultivating a garden so vibrant and full of life that the butterfly is instinctively drawn to it. You become the garden, not the chaser. This transformation begins in the quiet corners of your own life, far away from any romantic interest. It begins with a ruthless and honest audit of your own existence. What is the mission that gets you out of bed in the morning, independent of anyone else? What are the passions that make you lose track of time? What is the vision you have for your health, your finances, your intellectual growth, and your contribution to the world? This is your purpose. This is your North Star. And it must be cultivated with a kind of sacred dedication. A man who is obsessed with his own growth, his own journey, his own mission carries an undeniable energy. He is not idle. He is not waiting for life to happen to him or for a woman to come and give his life meaning. He is already full. He is already in motion. This momentum is profoundly attractive on a primal level. It communicates stability, ambition, and depth. It signals that you are a source of value, not a vacuum desperate to suck value from others. When your life is rich and compelling on its own, a woman is not seen as the source of your happiness, but as a wonderful complement to the happiness you have already built. This shifts the entire dynamic. You are no longer a thirsty man begging for a glass of water. You are a man with a full pitcher, offering to share a drink. This abundance mindset is what eliminates neediness, the single greatest attraction killer. You interact from a place of generosity and choice, not from a place of lack and desperation. She will feel this. She will sense that your world does not revolve around her, and paradoxically, this will make her want to be a part of it all the more. She will see a man who is dedicated, driven, and passionate. She will naturally become curious about what fuels that fire. She will want to join that journey, to be let into that world. Your self-mastery becomes the magnet. Your purpose becomes the lure. You build a life so interesting that she would be disappointed to miss out on it. That is the very essence of creating a healthy, powerful, and lasting obsession. It always starts with you. In the frantic, buzzing cacophony of the modern world, the most potent and rare form of currency is no longer money or status. It is undivided, unwavering attention. We are a society of the physically present but mentally absent. Our phones are portals to 1,000 other places. Our minds are cluttered with endless to-do lists, and our conversations are often just pauses while we wait for our turn to speak. In this landscape of perpetual distraction, the man who can offer his complete and total presence is not just pleasant, he is powerful. He becomes an oasis of calm in a desert of noise, and that is an experience a woman will not only remember, but will actively crave to relive. This concept of presence is often misunderstood. It is not merely about putting your phone away, though that is a necessary first step. It is a deeper, almost meditative practice of anchoring yourself entirely in the current moment with the person in front of you. It is the conscious decision to quiet the internal monologue, the thoughts about what you're going to say next, the worry about how you're being perceived, the memory of a problem from earlier in the day, and to pour all of your sensory awareness into the interaction. Your eyes are focused on hers, noticing the subtle shifts in her expression. Your ears are tuned to the cadence of her voice, the specific words she chooses, the emotions layered beneath them. Your entire being is communicating one powerful, unspoken message right now. Nothing is more important than this. Right now, it is just you and me. This level of attention is the highest form of validation. It says, you are fascinating. Your thoughts are valuable. Your experience is worth my time. When you listen with this depth, you are not just hearing her words, you are listening for her. You are seeking to understand the world from behind her eyes. You ask follow-up questions that show you are connecting the dots of her story. You reflect back emotions to show you are truly comprehending her experience. It sounds like that was incredibly frustrating for you, or you must have felt so proud in that moment. This makes her feel profoundly seen and heard in a way that is shockingly uncommon. This practice transforms an ordinary conversation into a moment of genuine intimacy. It creates a private, shared bubble where a real connection can form, untouched by the chaos of the outside world. In these moments, you are building an emotional anchor. She will begin to associate you with a feeling of peace, of being understood, of mattering. Every time you interact, you are reinforcing this feeling, strengthening that anchor. Contrast this with the man who is physically there but mentally scanning the room, checking his phone, or visibly planning his next sentence. He communicates distraction, which feels like dismissal. He makes her feel like she is just another item on his agenda. The man of presence, however, makes her feel like she is the agenda. This is not about putting her on a pedestal. It is about honoring the shared moment with the respect it deserves. Ultimately, cultivating this unwavering presence is a practice in self-discipline. It is the mastery of your own focus, but its reward is immense. You become the man she thinks about at the end of the day, not because of a slick line you used, but because of a feeling you gave her, a feeling of being the sole focus of a powerful, grounded, and attentive man. That feeling is addictive. It is the quiet, magnetic pull that makes her want to lean in closer, share more, and discover the depth of the man who is truly capable of listening. In the traditional script of masculinity, strength is often misrepresented as stoic invulnerability. A man is taught to be a fortress, impenetrable, unshaken, and emotionally sealed. He is the rock. But I am here to redefine strength for you. A rock is cold, hard, and offers no glimpse into its interior. True strength is not the absence of vulnerability. It is the profound courage to be vulnerable appropriately. It is the confidence to open a window into your inner world, not because you are weak, but because you are secure enough to know that showing dimension does not diminish you. It completes you. This authentic vulnerability is not a strategy. It is the bedrock of deep trust and the most potent catalyst for creating a genuine, magnetic connection. Let's be very clear, vulnerability is not oversharing. It is not emotional dumping on a first date. It is not using a woman as a free therapist to trauma dump your deepest wounds. That is neediness, and it comes from a place of seeking someone to fix you. Authentic vulnerability is the opposite. It comes from a place of wholeness. It is the conscious, measured choice to share a part of your humanity that makes you relatable, real, and trustworthy. It is the ability to say, I was nervous before this date, which instantly dissolves pressure and creates camaraderie. It is sharing an ambition you have that feels a little scary to voice because it means something to you. It is admitting when you made a mistake and offering a sincere apology without excuses. It is expressing how a piece of music or art moved you, revealing your capacity for feeling. This act is incredibly powerful because it does three things simultaneously. First, it demonstrates immense self-security. You are so comfortable in your own skin that you are not afraid to show a perceived flaw or uncertainty. This is quietly captivating. Second, it acts as a powerful permission slip. When you have the strength to be vulnerable, you give her the implicit permission to let her own guard down, to be her true self without fear of judgment. You create a safe container for intimacy to grow. You are building a sanctuary for two, not a stage for one. Third, and most importantly, forges a connection based on truth, not on a performance. You are not presenting a polished, perfect, and ultimately fake facade. You are presenting the real, multidimensional man you are. She falls for the real you, not a character you're playing. This eliminates the exhausting need to maintain an act and allows a relationship to be built on a solid foundation of authenticity. She becomes connected to your core, not to your mask. When a woman sees this strength in vulnerability, it triggers a deep instinct to connect and nurture. It allows her to step into her feminine energy of compassion and empathy. She feels trusted. She feels special that you would share this with her, and she feels a profound sense of safety. She knows that if you can be this honest about your own humanity, you will undoubtedly be accepting of hers. This mutual unveiling is where true obsession is born. It is not an obsession with a perfect ideal, but a powerful draw to a genuine human soul. It's the difference between admiring a statue in a museum and holding a living, breathing, beating heart in your hands. One is cold perfection to be observed from a distance. The other is warm, real, and inspires a powerful desire to protect and cherish. By embracing authentic vulnerability, you are not showing her your weaknesses. You are showing her your greatest strength, the courage to be real. And in a world of filters and facades, there is nothing more rare, more valuable, or more utterly captivating than that. In the realm of building a connection that transcends the superficial, words are the easiest currency and consequently the most devalued. Everyone has words, everyone has promises, grand ideas, and flattering compliments. What is rare, what truly separates the boys from the men, is decisive, consistent action. This is the embodiment of integrity. It is the seamless alignment between what you say and what you do. A man of certain action does not need to announce his value. He demonstrates it through the unwavering reliability of his character. This builds a foundation of such profound safety and respect that it becomes the bedrock upon which a woman can truly relax, trust, and inevitably become deeply attached. This principle operates on two critical levels, the micro and the macro. On the micro, everyday level, it is about impeccable follow-through. It is about the seemingly small things. If you say you are going to call at 7 p.m., you call at 7 p.m. If you make a plan to meet for dinner on Thursday, you have the restaurant booked and you arrive on time, present, and engaged. This consistency might seem minor, but it is a powerful signal. It communicates that she can trust your word implicitly. In a world where flackiness is the norm, being a man who does what he says he will do is a superpower. It means she doesn't have to live in a state of anxiety, wondering if you will show up, both literally and figuratively. This reliability is a form of deep emotional security. On the macro level, being a man of certain action translates to leadership. Now, let me be explicitly clear, leadership has nothing to do with control or dominance over another person. Toxic leadership demands obedience. True leadership inspires confidence through your ability to navigate uncertainty and steer the shared experience toward positive outcomes. It is about having a vision and the competence to execute it. It is the ability, when faced with the inevitable question of, what should we do this weekend? To not shrug and say, I don't know, what do you want to do? But to offer a compelling, well-considered plan. I've heard amazing things about this new exhibition. I've already looked into tickets for Saturday afternoon, and afterwards I know a great little spot nearby for a drink. How does that sound? This is not about being rigid or never accepting input. It is about taking the initiative and the mental load off her plate. It is decisive action that says, I've got this. I've thought about us. I've thought about your enjoyment. And I am capable of creating a wonderful experience. You can relax and be in the moment. This is incredibly attractive. It allows her to relinquish the constant need to plan and manage, which so many modern women are forced to do in every other aspect of their lives. It allows her to step into her feminine energy, to be led, to be cared for, and to simply enjoy the ride. She feels your capability in your actions. This certainty extends to moments of conflict or difficulty. A man of action does not avoid tough conversations. He navigates them with calm purpose. He doesn't resort to blame or deflection. He takes responsibility for his part and focuses on solutions. This proves that your strength is not just for the good times. It is a resilient force that provides stability even in a storm. When a woman knows with absolute certainty that your word is your bond, that your actions are deliberate, and that you can lead with compassion and competence, she sees you as a true partner. She sees a man who can not only handle his own world, but can also be a steadfast pillar in hers. This is not about creating dependency. It is about fostering unwavering trust. And from that trust grows a profound and lasting devotion, because you have proven yourself to be rare, a man who can be counted on always. A truly captivating connection cannot live on the surface. It must dive into the depths. A beautiful woman navigates a world that often and tragically focuses on her exterior. She is accustomed to compliments on her appearance, to superficial approaches that target what is seen, not what is unseen. To truly distinguish yourself and create a bond that is both unique and unforgettable, You must engage the most powerful and often most neglected parts of her mind and her emotional core. This is not about performing intellectual gymnastics to impress her. It is about demonstrating a genuine, curious fascination with the intricate universe within her. When you stimulate her intellect and emotion, you are not just dating her, you are engaging her entire being, and that is an experience that becomes utterly addictive. The gateway to this deeper engagement is curiosity, a sincere desire to understand how she sees the world. Move beyond the standard scripted interview questions about her job or her hobbies. Ask questions that reveal her character, her values, and the architecture of her thoughts. Instead of, "What do you do?" try, "What's the most challenging part of your work, and what does it teach you about yourself?" Instead of, "Do you like to travel?" ask, "Tell me about a place you visited that changed your perspective on something." These questions require reflection. They signal that you are not interested in a bullet point resume of her life, but in the nuanced story of her human experience. You are interested in her why. This intellectual stimulation naturally evolves into playful challenge. This is not about being contrarian or argumentative. It is about engaging her perspectives with your own in a dynamic and respectful dance. If she shares a strong opinion on a topic, don't just nod in automatic agreement. Play devil's advocate with a smile. Say, "That's a fascinating take. I see it a bit differently. What about this angle?" This shows that you see her as an intellectual equal, capable of a robust exchange of ideas. It creates a spark. It makes conversations with you thrilling and unpredictable because they are a meeting of two active minds, not just a passive recitation of facts. She will leave the conversation feeling energized, mentally invigorated, deeply respected for her intelligence. Beyond the intellect lies the emotional landscape. This is where you connect to her passions, her humor, and her sense of wonder. Share things that stir emotion in you, a documentary that moved you, a book passage that resonated, a piece of music that transports you. Pay attention to what sparks a light in her eyes. Does she light up talking about a cause she volunteers for? Does she have a wonderfully quirky sense of humor? Feed that. Encourage that. Be the person who makes her feel not just smart, but also felt. Laugh with her deeply. Create moments of shared awe, whether it's looking at a city skyline at night or discussing the vastness of the universe. This combination is incredibly potent. You become the man who sees and values all of her. You appreciate her beauty, but you are captivated by her brain. You enjoy her company, but you are enthralled by her spirit. You create a multi-layered connection where she feels both intellectually understood and emotionally met. With you, she doesn't have to compartmentalize herself. She can be the professional, the intellectual, the passionate advocate, the silly goofball, the complete, integrated person she is. You become the safe harbor where her entire self is welcome and celebrated. This holistic engagement is what separates a fleeting infatuation from a deep and lasting obsession. She isn't just attracted to you. She is fascinated by the person she becomes when she is with you, a smarter, more vibrant, more alive version of herself. Because you took the time to not just look at her, but to truly see her. The final and perhaps most critical element in cultivating a healthy dynamic is the silent architecture that holds everything together, your personal frame and your boundaries. This is the non-negotiable soil in which everything else must grow. Without it, even the most compelling presence, vulnerability, and action can crumble into neediness. Your frame is the internal operating system of your principles, your mission, and your self-respect. Your boundaries are the external expression of that frame, the clear lines that communicate to the world how you expect to be treated. A man without a strong frame is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave of external validation. A man with an unwavering frame is the lighthouse, stable, certain, and guiding. He does not chase the ships, they navigate by his light. Let's be perfectly clear that having a frame and boundaries has nothing to do with being rigid, controlling, or unkind. It is not about creating a list of rules for someone else to follow. It is the opposite. It is about having such a deep respect for yourself, your time, and your mission that you naturally filter out what does not align with your values. It is the ultimate expression of self-worth. When you know your worth is not up for debate, you stop negotiating for basic respect. This is profoundly attractive because it communicates a deep sense of security. You are not easily shaken by approval or disapproval because your validation comes from within. This manifests in countless subtle ways. It is the ability to politely decline an invitation that conflicts with your prior commitments to your work, your health, or your friends. This shows that your world is full and that your time is valuable. It is not being available at every single moment she decides to text. You have a life and priorities that demand your focus. It is maintaining your composure and not reacting with jealousy or insecurity and she mentions having lunch with a male colleague. It is the quiet confidence to walk away from disrespectful behavior, not with drama, but with a calm, final certainty that says, I deserve better than this, and I know it. This unshakable frame makes your attention a prized commodity. When you do choose to give your time and energy to her, it feels like a conscious gift, not a desperate offering. She knows it was not given by default, but earned. This perception is everything. It eliminates any hint of neediness because you have demonstrably shown that you are perfectly complete on your own. Your happiness is not her responsibility. It is your creation, and you are merely inviting her to share in it. A woman, on a fundamental level, is constantly testing for strength. This is not a malicious game. It is an innate survival mechanism to discern if a man is capable of being a reliable partner and protector. She will test your boundaries unconsciously to see if you hold them, if you fold, compromise your values, or abandon your mission to please her. You fail the test. You reveal your frame is weak and your validation is external. But if you hold your frame with calm, quiet assurance, if you remain the lighthouse, you pass the most important test of all. You prove your strength is real. You demonstrate that you are a man who cannot be swayed from his path, and that is the most compelling invitation of all. She will feel an immense sense of safety and trust, knowing she is with a man of authentic strength. She can relax into her femininity, not because she is weak, but because she is in the presence of a strength that is genuine and reliable. This is the foundation of true devotion. The obsession you inspire is not one of frantic anxiety, but of deep, unwavering respect and attraction to a man who truly and unapologetically respects himself.